Yeah, so I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I'm gonna start working on this. How many hours so I can get monetized on YouTube? But I just those of you who have been following my One Sphere Us channel, you know that I'm into politricking because they politricking in our face, and I'm working on some content on that as we speak. But I ran across the Midas Touch, and they were talking about the apparently the White House correspondents kind of go to the White House and they kind of roast like the president. It's kind of like um, a pattern kind of thing. So I'm outside, ignore all the noise or whatever. But I want to come in here and ask about it if anybody had been aware of a pyong pyong that took place there. And maybe it's just me, but y'all, I don't believe it. Kind of like with that pyong pyong that took place with his ear, and it just kind of like grew back. You know, there are a lot of things, and we still don't really know what's going on with the Charlie, the CK pyong pyong. There's a lot of things that it seems like they've been trying to again distract us. So that's kind of where I wanted to do this live and kind of see where people was thinking about it and where they was going with it because I know I'm not the only one that's looking at what's going on and like this ain't what's going on kind of deal. So let me know what you think. This is gonna go kind of to a video I think after this, and I'll probably go through another platform and go another route. But let me know what you think. What I've dropped so far. All right. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for me getting over the 100 subscribers. We're gonna increase the the content because of that. So, again, I'm just kind of wondering what people were thinking about the pyong pyong that took place at the White House recently, like within the last hour or so. Because I follow the Midas Touch and I do give them shout out, and also I've had it podcast. Those are two um, unbiased, neutral political podcast and channels that they'll actually bring you the receipts that you can look for it yourself. Because when I saw that he recently had not even been there, was not even going to attend, and all of a sudden he has this tux and he's talking on behalf of what took place at the White House. It's just there's no coincidence with that. He knew. What do y'all think? Let me know what you think in the comments or whatever. Because again, if he hadn't had the behaviors prior to with him regenerating his ear and him looking at the pyong pyong person before the pyong pyong did it, and with the stocks and things being altered and him and his family making over $6 billion with inside trading, there's just a lot going on that people as American citizens we need to pay attention to. And we have to call those organizational behaviors out. And again, just let me know what you're thinking about it. I'm not trying to dog anyone out by any means. This is just one's fear us. They fear one us. They fear us being able to kind of have conversations respectfully about the current events. And let's be real. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle we voted on, we still are American citizens, and what they do on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue affects all of us. So it's important that we, kind of have this kind of conversation and be real about it. And like I said earlier, I do give props to independent channels like a Midas Touch. I've had it podcast. Brian Tyler Cohen. Um, and a few others. Benjamin Dixon, he's a brother. That they are talking on the lines that we all need to be speaking on, which is how we are treating each other and how we're treating others is coming back to bite us in the behind. The chickens are coming home to roost. Let me know what you all think about that. I'm going to go back on through another platform so that I can welcome people to come up and share their viewpoints because again they fear ones fear us, they fear us being able to have this conversation because y'all, the way things are happening, we have to be concerned where the military personnel that's left that has not been fired unfairly, they don't even want our president in the situation room near the nuke button. If you don't believe me, go again to the resources that I'm telling you about. Like they literally drop the receipts, as the young people say. That should be a concern to American citizens, where the commander in chief is basically banned from the situation room, and especially now when there is a, as he say, an excursion that took place on behalf of him and Benjamin Netanyahu, and be saying that I probably will be shadow banned, but we have to begin to have this kind of dialogue that of all the other presidents, this one actually fell for the okey doke along with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. If you don't know these people, Google them, along with Steve Bannon, Peter Thiel. Google them because they're the people behind the scenes that's actually the puppets behind what your president is doing. Our president, I should say our, because I am American by birth and African by blood. So, with that being said, by default, we have to address the elephant and the zebra in the room and acknowledge that this is what's going on. And cognitively, he is declining. What are we talking about with that? What are we doing about that? Some of us have known for years, and we're saying, especially in the field of mental health, that his health mentally, cognitively is declining. Now we're seeing also his physical health. What are we doing about that? Now that we know we don't necessarily need to invoke the 25th Amendment, we can do this Article 4 or something, something where we can not only take him out uh, of office before anybody loses their mind, remove him from office, we can remove the entire executive branch. That is part of a constitution. So these are things we should be thinking about. These are things we should be considering if we care about, quote unquote, the democracy that this country was founded off of. So they say 250 years are supposed to be coming up in July. And if we keep this up, everything would have imploded by July. If, and I have to say, the white liberals, if they don't step up and detach from corporate demon rats, if they don't appeal to the others, the minorities and others, determined to have a fair and equal society, that's nothing what they will that will happen in November. Sure, they may get the um, the lead, if you will, and the majority, but if they don't do anything with the majority, then what good was it? And that's why I do appeal to all of the others like myself who we've, one way or another, we've had to deal with this American society that was based on consumerism and capitalism, and in a sense an oligarchy, if you will, because there were white male landowners that also were slave owners that quote unquote founded this country that we're going to celebrate in July of 250 years of what? Oppression, suppression, and consumerism and capitalism. But that's another story within itself. So um, I thank you so much, Jorge. I think Jorge and Law, thank you both for coming in. You're new. Thank you. It's a Saturday Eastern Standard Time over here in the United States. So, and also Jorge, thank you for coming in. I don't think I'm your baby, but said hi. Anyway, we're just kind of talking about some politicking, how the people all over the world are politicking in our faces. Even though we're seeing how crooked and corrupt they are, they're trying to basically tell us that what we're seeing is not what we're seeing. So just wanted to kind of get an opinion of how everybody else is kind of feeling with the current events in America from an international perspective. I know y'all probably laughing at us. I'm sure you're probably clowning us. Hell, I would be too. But just something to think about. Let me know what you're thinking. Leave a little something down there, and I'm going to come back a little bit later and have a thumbnail related to another vlog. Until next time, Ashe.